Hi, folks. This is Jason Pramas and Chris Faraone from BINJ doing a surprise test stream for nobody in particular. Hey. And we're not even done testing our equipment and this and that and lights and everything, but we thought we'd come on and give it a whirl. We've got this AI generated music courtesy of Restream. I think I will fade that out. Okay. And I guess we're just going to ask Chris here, what's up?
Well, are we supposed to believe that like elevator music up until this year was not AI generated to some degree?
No, it's magic. It's like magic, algorithms.
Yeah, I don't think you have to show your hand to that degree. It's just crappy introduction music, and if it wasn't so hypocritical of us considering all the columns about AI, but nevertheless, we apologize to all of the instrumentalists who we are depriving of
no money at all.
Big money.
Let's talk about the Massachusetts state flag thing. I haven't been following it very carefully, Chris, but perhaps you have.
I mean, how carefully can you follow it? I mean, here's the thing about the flag. It's like I really try to not on some libertarian-ish, but basically I try to be, it's not. Listen, I'm not Native American. I do think that having a knife over a Native American's head is a little bit much. I think that it's a pretty mark of poor character of people who are how could you love the flag? Who cares? It's like the state flag. People are so upset. How could they do this to us and take away, so I do think it's definitely offensive. I think people really need to look at, maybe you could test your other screen capability here is, the former I-90 signs that they used to have.
Yeah,
we were literally
with the arrow in it or whatever.
A pilgrim's hat with an arrow through it. So I think that people weren't using the word woke back then, although certainly they were calling people libbers and everything. But there's always been this battle between just pure classlessness and racism, and just not wanting to offend people with a simple flag. So that's the background. Is
what should I show here? What do you want me to put up on screen?
Well, can you find the old
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
So I think the point here is that the flag is offensive. The logo, the state logo, is offensive, and people need to. And here's the thing: it's already happening. There's people who care so much. I didn't see them. Were they filing legislation to keep the old flag? No, if people just love to hang on, love to piss off liberals. But guess what? They lost because there's going to be a new flag. And this is where I think other people, including progressives, perhaps, may be a little upset, is that a lot of these new designs are pretty lackluster. So they put.
First of all, here it comes. Here's the Bass Pike sign. It's
pretty there it is.
Yeah.
That is, somebody told me that once when I moved here, and I didn't believe them. I was like, there's no way that used to be the sign.
Yes, it was. I grew up with this sign. Absolutely.
So, if you go to Talking Joints memo, I guess you could see some of the flag designs pitched. So that's probably bad. Not the right place to. We're wholly unprepared here.
Well, we could try to find,
well, if you look up Massachusetts flag, you'll see the finalists, right? Because they did pick the finalists, right? They picked them from more than 1,000, about 1,150 submissions. Okay, most of them just so bad. Some of them, bad on purpose, and those are some of the ones we highlighted on Talking Joints memo, which, of course, that's another site that Jason and I and some other people run. It's a cannabis site, for profit, unlike BINJ. There's some content sharing. Not this. This is just a joke article that we did on TJM on Talking Joints memo. So we did some of the funny picks that we thought were inspired by weed or involved weed in some way. Ones that were a little trippy. But at this point, it doesn't really matter what. Oh, by the way, this is the one I designed. I did not submit it, but there, of course, we have Rosie the Riveter.
We can do it, Chris.
As I was going through the 1,000+ submissions, I saw that. I realized, oh my God, it looks like someone's arm going like this. Cape Cod, whose arm goes like that? Rosie the Riveter. I can't believe that 1,000 people made terrible flags and not one person made this terrible flag. So there's my submission. It's a little late, Maybe you could get it on a write-in
I don't know.
ballot.
We get the top 3 on the state site here. Let me just put that up.
Yeah, so you can find the top 3, and
You
you
have
know,
that.
just.
Oh wait.
And by the way, as for the weed thing, I gotta say, it's not just I'm not just blowing smoke. Get it? I'm not just blowing smoke. I actually think that the weed thing is warranted because, folks, weed is the #1 cash crop, the most profitable crop in Massachusetts since 2022. Before that, second.
So these are the. I'm sorry. What are we looking for?
Yeah, those. No, that's it. Before, but anyway, so I
These
think
are
it
the
should
top
be.
3. Flag, Massachusetts flag.
Yeah, and what the hell?
Selections. They're really like corporate logos. I don't know
It
what
makes
this
you
is.
feel like, like a real, a jackass on radio, like just whining about everything. But Jesus, what are they doing? They're terrible looking. By the way,
Yeah.
what do you think of that right there? You see, I got a microphone
wait,
now.
let me hold on. Let me put you back where I can see you here. Let me turn the screen sharing off. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, you know what? I forgot the snowball mic that I have. I could pull that in.
Well,
And
here's the secret. My sound sounds. I think it sounds pretty good. So I don't actually. It's not turned on. I just have the mic there.
Yeah.
So,
I see. It's just a stunt. It's a prop. Yeah, I suppose I
it's a
could do that
prop.
as well.
It's a prop,
I mean,
right?
I have a nice mic that goes with this camera. I have a nice mic that goes with this Sony camera that I'm playing with here. That's my regular photo camera, but it does a nice job streaming, although I don't have the big light set up yet. So I don't know. I mean, both of us are using either iPhones or Macs or whatever. All of them work nicely. I'll see if I can get it a little bit nicer. But on this particular stream, we are limited to 720p. So, we're not going to be like super, super ultra high def or anything unless we decide to pay Restream to use the service. But I do like the service so far. So I mean,
you
look.
say Tuesday and Thursday? What can the fans expect, Jason?
Well, I'm starting myself at least with Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And we're going to start by interviewing people around us, reporters that work with us and interns that work with us and other folks. And then we'll see how that goes. We're just kind of curious what kind of audience we're going to draw to the new show. And we have to decide what to call it. Probably something prosaic like Binge Live, but we'll see.
So are you gonna? Am I just gonna call in whenever I want, or do you want me to come on every time, or what?
I want you to come on every time on the Tuesday ones, and and talk to people with me. And then if we like it, yeah, we're gonna definitely start doing it more often. We're beginning with YouTube Live only because right now our wisdom is that streaming to too many platforms at once doesn't help us. Like we're trying to get as many eyeballs on screens as possible for this, like everything else we do. And we're gonna just do YouTube Live and see how that goes. If this seems like a good reason to expand it, I'm certainly not trusting Facebook Live because they're like currently making everyone take down all their Facebook live streams from prior to 6 months ago, and that
Is it? Oh, I thought it was just the really old stuff.
no, I think it's up to the last 6 months, and I think that does not bode well. Not that we trust Facebook, aka Meta, much at all, but then we don't trust any of these giant companies. So what else is news? But if we can handle Tuesdays at 8, 20 to 30 minutes, maybe more if we're having a good time, especially if we have more than one or two guests, then we'll think about expanding it. I mean, obviously Chris will do all kinds of Chris stuff on the platforms that he's already playing with.
Well, and I'm going to be doing, if I'm just going live and stuff, like, can you also like bring those in, or you want everything to be live?
Bring in your live to this live?
No, like if I had a video, could you just play that on your live?
Yeah, we can.
Like if I couldn't be there or something, could you do that?
Yes, I believe we can.
Oh, that's great.
Just checking around here for 1 second. Looking at notes, music. Sorry, folks, we're just learning the system here.
Do we have to apologize? Nobody expected anything from us.
Yeah, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Gosh. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we can. I just haven't done that yet. Oh, yeah, down here. Wait a minute. Share screen, invite guests. What's this ad sign? Ah, yes. Video storage. Local video. Yeah. So Chris, screen share image, extra camera. Oh, I didn't try extra camera setting. I wonder if I can see myself from 2 angles here. That's worth playing with. But yeah, it looks like I can do well, for example, Chris, I can simply screen share, I think as you were suggesting, YouTube and pull in video that way. That's one option. Another one is to actually download video onto my computer and then I can run it directly that way. So I mean, we can definitely do that. Now, extra camera, let me just play with this. Ooh, that's really bright because of this crazy light. But let me add camera. So what does that do? I don't know if it does anything. Oh, I see. I would probably have to set up a window for it. Please connect more video input devices. Well, this is boring anyway. So we don't have to stay on forever, just sort of chatting about nothing. But unless you have something on opioid stuff that people should know about.
I mean, people should check it out. I mean, honestly, it's one discovery after another. The big one yesterday was that, we have spent a long time, and honestly, it's funny because more than everybody else, but not as much as we should have, because you get discouraged. You report on all these things, you feel like a conspiracy theorist, and meanwhile, the actual conspiracy nut jobs are getting tons of attention, and we're trying to bring attention to basic things. One of them being the power of the Suboxone lobby in Massachusetts, the so-called recovery drug forces out there. Now, listen, a lot of these are very powerful drugs. They work for a lot of people. That doesn't mean they should be forced on everyone. Doesn't mean the policies around them should be whatever the pharmaceutical companies want them to be. Now, they spend a lot of money lobbying. They have a lot of influence. And what I just saw last night was that, this one company in Indivior, which makes Suboxone and Sublocade, which is a longer form Suboxone, they paid this huge settlement to Massachusetts in 2020. And it was for a number, basically lying about the marketing, the addictive nature, the dangerous nature of of Sublocade, the film. It kind of looks like a Listerine strip around children, a number of things. Just the kind of thing that a normal person, you get caught like lying to the police about this, or on, your social security application, you go to jail. But if you're a company like this, it's so so we've been writing about these opioid settlements, this money that the state and municipalities are getting for remediation, to manage the crisis that a lot of these companies have caused. And what I'm writing about is how a lot of the companies that have paid these dollars to Massachusetts, among other states, we're still doing business with them. So this one company had a settlement in 2020 in Indivior, used to be called Reckitt Bensinker, until 2014. They had their own issues and lawsuits, and then Massachusetts again in this year, 2025, in July, had a settlement with 8 different pharmaceutical companies. I think the total Massachusetts is getting it's like $1.7 million. It's not a ton,
right,
from this company in Indivior. But here's the thing: all the other companies are no longer allowed to sell. Are no longer allowed to sell opioids, except for Indivior, the company that makes Sublocade, Suboxone. They're allowed to make recovery drugs still, just not opioids, for 10 years. So basically, it's like, forget about the little slap on the wrist, the little amount that they paid compared to their record profits. On top of that, and so what I'm also digging into, and people should follow along, is we'll be doing a lot of reporting on how much the state spends on these recovery drugs and on methadone and assisted treatment. So not that these things are all bad, not to demonize them, of course, not to stigmatize the people who take them, but to understand how the money flows and just the unbelievable amount of money. And on top of it, of course, to bring it into Talking Joints Memo, some of the other reporting we do, we're going to be addressing how little of the opioid settlement money, if any, is going to things like the Department of Correction, is going to plant medicines like psychedelics and experimental. I say experimental, but there's been a lot of trials going to cannabis therapy for veterans and such. A lot of research on these things. We'll be talking to experts. We of course have done tons of interviews on these subjects, but it all comes together, baby. That's why it's nice to be the editor, because when you're just a writer and you go, hey, I want to write something, and it's all a conspiracy. It all comes together. It all ties together. They're like, pick one thing and stick to it. You know, rookie. Now now that I'm the editor, 10 years into Binge, 20 years into doing this, I think we're gonna have some fun this year. Be some fulfilling work writing about these companies and how much money they make on the backs of really suffering families. And it's National Recovery Month, by the way. Binge is going to be participating. Really? It is. Binge is going to be participating in Revere at their event on September 13th. So it's definitely interesting, and we're really more about talking to people and writing about these elements than it is just demonizing it. Some of these companies, listen, I always said it. I said the same thing when people would whine about the COVID vaccine, when they're complain about drug companies. I'd always say, like, my problem with drug companies is rarely that the drugs work,
right?
That the drugs don't work. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the issue. Like, the drugs work. It's everything else. It's how they just can't lose. It's the lobbying. It's the in this case, there are other drugs that basically make you inhibit you from wanting to use drugs like Vivitrol, which lobbyists for some of the recovery drugs we're talking about here have for years preached against those drugs. So it's not really a fair level playing field. We're going to be digging into all of that as soon as we get our little studio set up here with some new stickers.
Very exciting. Yeah, I don't exactly have a studio. I have this room behind me and it's not properly lit right now, but we will make do, and we will be doing a good deal more, it sounds like, video for the rest of this year and into next year. And hopefully folks will join us. So this has been Jason Pramas, and this is Chris Faraone of the Boston Institute for Nonprofit Journalism. And we're out of here. So,
talk to you later.
Peace. And I say that, but then I'm like, wait, where's the stop button? Oh, there it is.